What's up, guys? Today I am disassembling the Integra trailing arms that I bought. I need to remove the hubs and the brake lines and the brake shield, the dust shield, from the trailing arms themselves. That way I can take the trailing arms to my buddy's shop and get the bushings pressed out. I have all the other stuff ready to go, so after I get the bushings pressed out, I'll be taking everything to Enigma coating to get sandblasted and powder coated, and then I can start putting the suspension back together, get the car off of jack stands, do a couple more things to the engine bay that I need to do, and then I can tow the car to the paint shop to get the engine bay sprayed. And then a laundry list of things that I have to do to get the engine in the car. I have to buy a bunch of parts and replace several things for things to work. I'll get more in depth with that in detail as it grows closer. So I'm gonna get started taking these apart, and see you guys soon. So when I was taking everything off suspension-wise from the car and removing the subframe and the rack, I ran into a couple issues. When I was disconnecting the steering column from the rack and pinion, the bolt closest to the rack was really difficult to get out. I don't know if you guys watched that episode where I was talking about it. It just took forever to get out. For some reason, those threads got messed up on that bolt when I pulled it out. Even though the bolt looked really clean, wasn't corroded, wasn't rusted. I guess shit happens sometimes. Anyways, long story short, finding specific bolts for stuff like that for this car is damn near impossible online. I feel like I'm gonna have to order like a whole section of something to get a bolt like that. So it makes it very important to be careful. And I haven't used any power tools yet. I think I took a couple brackets off in the engine bay when we were pulling the motor with an impact drill, like a battery powered one, but that was just to save time. Anything major that was like matters, I've done by hand. That being said, when I was removing the rear suspension, the driver's side camber arm on top, there's two bolts that go into the car, and one of those bolts rounded off, so I couldn't use it, and I ended up having to buy an extractor kit, and it cut into the bolt and removed it because it just did not want to come out. So whenever I was pulling the front suspension off, the driver's side axle never came out of the hub. I couldn't get it out. I've tried soaking it for days in PB Blaster. I've tried heating it. I've tried using a hub removal tool, which put pressure right on the axle to push it out. I've tried everything. It ain't coming out. I need an EX one though. The knuckles are a little different. So started looking online. Those are expensive. I was gonna have to order a whole set. Nobody's just selling the driver's side. Well, I hit up the guy that I bought the car from because he had a couple other EX coupes out there on his property just sitting there, and a hatch as well. And he was, super happy. He'd been watching the videos that I'm doing this to the car that I bought from him because he just didn't have time to mess with it. And he allowed me to take this stuff off of one of those cars that he had on his property for free. So Philip, you and your dad are the shit for helping me do that. I really appreciate you. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do yet, but I'm gonna do something nice for these guys because they made my life a lot easier with this project. I was able to take off the rear camber bolt, the steering column bolt, and they gave me the driver's side knuckle. And this morning I got up at about 6 a.m., still dark outside, and I loaded up all the suspension parts that I'm gonna get stuff pressed out of, and I dropped it off at my buddy Travis's shop, Century Automotive. He said he should have all that stuff pressed out next week. Next week I'm gonna take all that stuff up north to Leander and get the stuff that I'm keeping sandblasted and powder coated. Then I'm gonna take it back to Travis's shop, Century Automotive, and they're gonna Teflon and press in all of my polyurethane bushings, as well as the new hubs that I'm getting and the new wheel bearings as well. But yeah, that's all I've done this past week and a half, 2 weeks. I'll keep you guys updated. A lot of this stuff is not being done in my garage right now, so I need to start working on the brakes. I'll probably record that soon. Until then, take it easy, guys. Today, I'm going to clean the wheel wells. As you can see, from when there was an oil leak, stuff dripping on parts of the suspension, getting to the wheel, spinning around, it gets all this stuff pretty dirty. So I'm gonna clean it. I made a solution of warm water and Dawn dish soap, like 10-to-1, and I'm just gonna scrub it by hand. I don't want to make a mess in here. The car is stuck in the garage, so it is gonna get some water on the floor, but I'll probably just sweep it out. But yeah, I have 4 wheel wells to do, so I'm gonna get started, and then I'm going to undercoat these later this week to repaint them and protect them. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and you'll see when it's done. As you could probably guess, things were pretty dirty. Thankfully though, the back, there's not really anything that can get it greasy unless you like pop a brake line somehow. So the back's just kind of dusty. But let me show you guys how clean I got everything. It's not perfectly clean. I might even come back in here and pressure wash just to be safe, but I got a lot of the grime out of there. You can actually see the paint, so. Oh man, now that that's not wet, it's kind of dirty. I'm gonna have to come back and hit that, but this stuff's pretty clean. Man, it's shiny. It's almost new again. This makes me really happy. I love it whenever it's dirty and it gets clean like that. It just starts to make me appreciate it even more. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna go touch up on that spot over there, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you guys next time.